That's best laws. That's another major, I didn't know her.
That came out
This
of
is Sergeant Cass here, no.
that photograph came out of like a business
Shaw?
promotion book,
Oh.
and it just was promoting Aberdeen.
Chapin?
Oh,
Oh, this is precious. All the little guys that was on there when I went on.
yeah, by the time Dad got to the Aberdeen Police Department, we'd already been on the, living out at the beach, in the jailhouse, and then in Montesano on the Sheriff Department, and then Town Marshal in Alma before he got on there.
I knew he had a connection to Elma too, and I actually, we wrote some questions after I kind of read the transcript from Jim's interview, and there were a few questions that I had, and I asked Jim if he had any more, and so he has a few more. So we kind of have a little script there that Chuck will go over, and so that we can get a few more details. Yeah. I know that he talked a lot about his military and all that.
And
but,
he just let him go random for that hour. Like,
Yeah.
There's McManus's dad.
oh,
Earl
that's his
McManus.
dad?
Oh, there's Roman Chapin.
Uh-huh.
This is the guy. Oh dear. The stories I must not tell.
That's the stuff we want to
He's
hear.
got some beauties.
I knew he did.
and he remembers everything.
Yeah, it goes in right there.
Has to remind me.
Last time I did this, I didn't plug them in, and then the batteries eventually died.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think this way we don't have to worry. However long it goes, it just keeps going and going.
I told you you're coming to look at his scrapbook.
Well, I do want to take, so I'd like to use my phone to photograph some of the stuff.
Here's
in this
old
stuff.
Hal Williams.
Oh, let me see him. Oh my God, how did
So
you
is that somebody you
recognize
work
him?
with?
Wow.
What
So
year
how
is
did
this
you know how?
photograph you
Was
have
he
for
there?
you?
1951.
Well,
He
that's
wasn't there
51,
when you were
okay.
there.
Yes, he was.
Oh, was
much
he?
He was
for
my
his
favorite
time.
ride
Yeah,
to work.
I knew he would know all those characters.
Oh, I forgot that name.
He had an old big old Chrysler car, and when we'd go to work at 4 in the morning, he'd pull in front of my house and sit out there in that car, go chuggy, and he had the heater going full bore. So when I got out of the frosty morning, I knew I was going to be warm.
Oh, that's funny.
That old Hal was a good old guy. I liked Hal. I don't know him. There's one, there's Cass.
Did you work with
Oh,
Cowboy?
Nicholas Jansen.
Oh, where's he?
Where is he?
Let's see.
That's the one I want you to ask about.
Nick Jansen. Oh my God, I know stories about
Didn't
him.
Nick end up as the sheriff at one time? Was he the one that? But
Was Nick
I have.
sheriff?
He's one of those guys that him and John Gillespie and others that I really want to get your take on because
Nick Jansen. He came to Dad's retirement too.
Yeah.
He told about what that first day on the beat or something. He just said, they said, do you have a gun? And he said,
Well, that's-
I could get one.
That's one of the items that's not in my scrapbook. But my first night on the Aberdeen Police Department was a very interesting night.
That one.
those are the guys I want to hear about because they're so.
He was in with them raiding the houses.
Oh, yeah. So Yantich did that without the permission of the sheriff, right? Or without the permission
The
of the
other way
chief.
around, I think.
You know,
He was a captain.
see, I
Yeah,
worked
yeah.
for the sheriff 1951 to about 1955.
So that's how you know all these guys you were still in, even though you weren't in Aberdeen.
We raided the houses in Aberdeen. Don Abel was the prosecuting attorney, and we raided the houses in Aberdeen without Aberdeen's permission.
Oh.
And our orders were that because the sheriff has authority over a city police, our orders were to, you see an Aberdeen policeman, pick him up, get him in the car, don't let him telephone or radio anybody.
So they knew it was kind of hush hush.
Are you set up and recording?
Yeah. So you can go ahead. Yeah, they're just running.
Okay. So Randy gave me some questions to ask, and Randy honestly knows so much of the history better than I do. I'm actually new to Grace Harbor and new to Aberdeen, but I'm involved with the Friends of the Museum. I'm on the board of directors for that organization. And so he has questions prepared for me. So I'm going to basically, I'll just be reading the questions as they're written. And I'm thinking that Randy may jump in if there's something else that maybe comes to mind. And feel free to add if there's something that, I ask a question and it triggers something else. And I know Jim did a pretty good job of interviewing you previously, but afterwards we asked him if he had any questions that he wished he would have asked or something he didn't get to. So these are more, I guess, Jim's questions. Okay, so one of the first questions that he has, that he's curious about, was there a special cafe or a restaurant where the Aberdeen Police Department officers like to gather?
Often hung out in?
Yeah.
Okay, the Canton Cafe.
Ah, okay. Yeah. Okay, fantastic.
How about smoke shop?
And the Canton was mostly I think they opened for business kind of later in the day, and they opened very late.
Yeah, but the thing that drawed us there was any time that you walked into the Canton Cafe, if you walked into the back, you could sit down and have a bowl of Chinese noodles free.
Oh, really? That was a perk that they offered.
That was because Louis was saying, yeah.
Louis, huh?
Yeah. He often called, he no pay. If he's got a policeman sitting there having a bowl of noodles, he does pay.
Okay. Wow. That's really cool. And so it wouldn't have been unusual then to show up there and there would be other people in the force already there. So it was not just a place to eat, but was it also a place where you knew you could go and socialize with other members of the department?
No, it wasn't the Canton.
Smoke shop.
There really was not a local place where we hung out to have our beer and stuff.
Okay.
We just didn't go to a place.
Oh, okay. And you mentioned the
The
smoke
shop, Dad.
What was the story with the smoke shop?
The smoke shop was one place where you could go in and sit down and have a cup of coffee.
Okay.
On the house.
Okay.
Because the proprietor wanted us in there.
Okay. And that was on Heron Street, I think?
That was on Heron and what was that, I Street? Anyway.
That sounds right, yeah.
It was on Heron.
Near, I guess, where...
H in between H and I.
Okay. Kind of down towards the end where Max is, or I guess it was there then. I don't know.
Not that far.
Not that far.
It's a vacant lot now.
Oh, it's a lot now. Okay. All right. Okay. And then he asks, what was the relationship between the departments in Aberdeen, Hoquiam, and Causey? Was there any rivalry or funny stories about that? Did those departments work together?
I'll hit it the best I can. Cosmopolis had Jess Tyler. He was the town marshal there. And Jess quite often came over and rode with our guys, just Halloween particularly and stuff like that. He was the only policeman in Cosmopolis then.
Okay.
Later, they had other guys came and there was other policemen there, but Jess was the one that was the older, he was a, what did they call him? Anyway, he was like a town marshal.
Oh, okay.
And he wore big overalls. He carried his pistol in his overall pocket.
Oh, wow.
He had a little badge pinned onto his overall.
Under the strap?
Yeah.
Okay. You mentioned Halloween. Was that a particularly active night back in the day?
Well, the reason I mention that is because that's one of the times that Jess came over and worked with us.
Oh, okay.
And this particular night, I was either a lieutenant or captain. And Jess came over as usual, and so he wanted to ride with me. So we're down patrolling around, and we come by the Hopkins Junior High School. And we pulled up this to the stop here, and this car is coming here. Well, these kids are leaning out of the car, throwing rocks through the Hopkins Junior High windows.
Oh my gosh.
And so when they came by us, our lights was on, our headlights and stuff, they threw rocks at us. So I lit the car up. All the dinghies going. And anyway, I arrested, I think it was 4. One of them was the Hopkins Junior High president, and one of them was a child of one of our city employees.
Oh my gosh.
All kids that should have been known way better.
Yeah.
And anyway, that was just happened to be that we were right there.
Yeah, right place, right time.
And they threw rocks.
Oh my gosh. What became of those arrests?
Well, those are juvenile things, and that's the last we heard of it.
So it passes to a different agency.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not something you would necessarily follow up on.
And I imagine in that particular case that these kids were probably dealt with as, let's see, was McKay juvenile officer then, or was it Best Dawes? Must have been McKay.
Okay.
And they just handled it. We didn't know what happened to them, but I imagine their parents were the kind of parents that probably got some action going there too.
I bet. Okay, and then his next question is, what do you think about Aberdeen helping patrol Causey now?
What do I think about Aberdeen Patrol and Causey?
So I guess my understanding, and these, like I say, these aren't my questions, but my understanding is that Aberdeen assists with patrols in Cosmopolis, and probably, I don't know how recently he wrote these questions, but recently Cosmopolis has had several people on their city government leave, and I believe they've even laid off some of their officers, if I'm not mistaken, and so Aberdeen is now using their force to help patrol Cosmopolis.
Well, as a former Aberdeen captain and chief, I think that the system as it worked was we were backup for Causey. Anytime they had problems, we had people over there right away.
Yeah.
At one time, one of our policemen, Dad was the chief in Causey, and of course we couldn't get across the border fast enough if he needed help, and it worked.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it was.
Was it an official relationship, or was it just kind of, being a good neighbor?
It was just something we understood. We had most of it had deputy sheriff credentials that we could have enforced the law in Cosmopolis.
Oh, okay. Great. Let me see. His next question is, what was your first job in law enforcement on Grace Harbor?
My first job was I got to know the sheriff, and the sheriff, I just said to him one day, I said, I've often thought about being a deputy sheriff. And he said, I'll tell you what, go down to Copenas Beach and look at that little house and jail down there. See if you'd like that job. So I did. I had no law enforcement experience, but I went down and I looked at it. I said, yeah, it was not much of a house. It was one bedroom and a utility room and a front room. But and the jail, of course, it was attached to it. And anyway, I went down, looked at it, and told him, yeah, I could try that.
Great. And what were you doing just prior to that happening?
Huh?
What were you doing right before that?
I worked at Great Rubber Veneer Factory.
Oh, okay. Great. Okay. And how many years did you serve as the APD chief?
As being chief?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think it was, I was appointed in 1976 and I retired in 1980.
Oh, okay.
So that was the time that I served as chief.
Okay. A few years. And while you were working as the chief, what mayor or mayors did you serve under? Was it Fran White or?
Well, Fran White is the one that hired me as chief.
Mm-hmm.
Walt Feder turned me down, and he had a problem finding somebody, and he kept picking people that didn't fit. In my book there, I got quite a bit of clippings on that.
Okay, good.
And he had enough of that bad luck, and he found a guy that was an ex-Marine,
Mm-hmm.
so he hired him.
Mm-hmm.
And so he came down. Right away, the guy made friends with me because I was a captain and ran the department all that time.
Mm-hmm.
So he just made friends with me and depended on me to help him, get through this job. But he made a mistake. He wrote the wrong stuff down on his resume, and it wasn't true. And he got in disfavor with the mayor that way, and they fired him. And then that dumped the job back on me. Well, then they went back up they went to Holcomb. Holcomb had hired a deputy sheriff from Clown County up there by Port Angeles. They hired him, and so he ended up. They decided he could be joint chief with Holcomb and Aberdeen. So when he was hired as a joint chief, then he came to me and he said, "Look, you're doing good with this department, so you run this department, and if you have any problems, get a hold of me." But he said, "I got problems. I got to get straightened up over here in Oakland. So I'll just kind of let you do what you want, but you contact me if you have any problems." So that was all right with me. I still had my captain rank, and anyway, that went on until Fran was elected. And Fran had said that when I made my application to Feder, and he turned me down, Fran had said then that you're the guy I want to choose. And so when she got elected, she contacted me. I said, "Yeah, I'll finally I'll take it." But it's all in my clippings there about the raise and the money and all that. It's all in there.
Oh, good. Okay.
You get a lot more out of that than you will if you're talking about it.
Well, and I think you kind of started to answer the next question he had down, and that was, what was your opinion of the mayor and the council from the time you served?
What was the opinion of
the mayor and the city council while you were serving?
I served under Ed Leonard. He was the first mayor. And anyway, I served under him. And then when Feder got elected, I served under him. And Ed Leonard was permissive about the houses prostitution. And so was the department. They were permissive. And anyhow, when Feder was elected, he was determined to bring in a different chief from outside. So he let Gallagher go. Gallagher was probably the most respected police officer ever in Aberdeen. You know, he was really a well-liked man.
Yeah.
And so that didn't set too well in the city. And so when they went Fader went to Ellensburg, and he hired the chief of police from Ellensburg to be the chief in Aberdeen. Well, it so happened that I had worked with this guy when he was under sheriff for Sheriff Simmons, and he was a very good police officer. And anyhow, he brought him down. Well, there was things that happened down there that should never have happened that way, but the department did not want him. And I think the only one in the department really knew him, that was me. And I would have kept him. But anyhow, that's when Butler left. Then he went to Seaside, and he brought that guy up. He was the chief of Seaside, Oregon. Brought him up here, and he wasn't happy with the situation he saw here. He was chief one night, and then he was chief one night. And then he called the mayor and told him he didn't want to take the job because he seen things. It's all in the clippings.
Okay.
Then he went from that situation. I think the mayor might have thought the department caused this, but they didn't. They didn't have nothing to do with this guy, but he thought the council was split who they wanted. And there was a lot of letters in the paper about me, you know, and finally I just said, well, I withdraw my request to be chief. I don't want to be chief. It's too complicated.
When I first started,
And
I had 9 times.
you couldn't be a chief under a mayor that didn't want you. That was no good, because you had no civil service or anything else. You were just there at his whim.
Right. Kind of a conflict of interest.
Yeah. So then, and that's when he went to North Bend and hired that chief, the guy that was the ex-Marine that was going to straighten everything up. Kenny was smart enough. He just brought me in, and I'm his senior captain and his assistant chief when necessary. And then he got cross swords with someone there, and somehow got tangled up with him, and so they found out he lied on his application, so they fired him.
Do you happen to recall what it exactly was that he had lied about? Was it a previous job?
Oh, it was the problems he had in Olympia. He was on the police department in Olympia. He didn't mention it. And he had some other things that I don't have the facts. I don't know for sure what they were. Because I understood it was a DUI, and he got in trouble because he didn't mention that.
This is when he was serving in Olympia.
Yes, when he was serving in Olympia, but what did he get it on? I don't know.
Yeah.
So I shouldn't be repeating stuff I don't know.
Sure. Yeah. It's speculation. All right. Well, let's go to the next question. Did you know anything about the demolition of the railroad depot that Fran White had wanted to house a museum in?
About what?
Did you know anything about the demolition of the railroad depot, and this is in Aberdeen, that Fran White wanted to house a museum in?
Oh, I was not aware of any of that.
Okay. So, did you have any any thoughts or recollections about when the depot was demolished, the old railroad station there in Aberdeen?
I had no information on that. I wasn't aware that there was. I knew there was something going on there, but I wasn't involved in it anyway.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let's see. Did you know Chester Chet Bowling from the Aberdeen Police Department?
Absolutely.
Said he left in the early 50s, but you did know. So you knew him. Was he still active when you were?
Yes, he was a lieutenant, and he was in charge of the fingerprint identification department.
Oh, okay.
Kept records, he charged all the records.
Oh, okay.
He had the whole upstairs, the old police station was his domain.
Okay. Got it.
I was pleasantly surprised to find out.
And so his next section here is about controversial figures at the Aberdeen Police Department. And he just has a list of names. And the first one is, did you work with Captain Nick Yanston? And if so, what was your opinion of him?
I knew Nick, and Nick was still a captain there when I came on the department.
Okay.
And I came on the department in January the 31st, 1959.
Uh-huh.
And Jansen was a part of a raid on the Curtis Hotel, which was a house of prostitution, as I understood it. And as it happened, this was the first night I was working on the department. Now, I've got 8 years of law enforcement before this, so I kind of knew what we were doing. And when Don Abel, the prosecutor, raided the houses using the deputy sheriffs, I was part of those raids. And because I was a captain when the sheriff's office in, I was assigned one section of the prostitution houses, and the others spread up, hit several of them.
The Curtis was that the one that operated above the old Olympic Candy Company, I think is what it was called?
It was right where the highway starts up over the bridge.
Right above Dill's.
On that side.
Where Dill's second hand was.
Yeah. Right in there.
Yeah. And so you were a part of that. What do you remember about the details of the raid and how they took place?
There's not much to way, but that's fairly simple. I was assigned to work with John Babbage, which was customary to put the new guy with somebody who's got some time on. Well, Babbage, I think, had 2 years on, and I was assigned to work with him. And we were going down, I think it's well, anyway, we were going down the street, and that's where the starts up to go over the bridge.
Near you.
Right by the Finch building, I think.
Okay.
And anyway, as we went by, he saw somebody standing in the alley, and he seemed quite upset over the guy. And so I didn't know, I just, first time I was on the department, I didn't know what was going on. And so anyway, I found out later he was a minister, and he was in on this raise thing. How much he was involved, I don't know. I knew very little, but they come over our radio, to go to the back of the Curtis and pick up the Johns and the girls and transport them to the Aberdeen Police Department to book for prostitution. So that's what I told John. I said, well, since the captain was ordered, I don't know how we could get in trouble for it. He has a rank and stuff. So I said, let's just do it. So it ended up I was advising him instead of him advising me. But anyway, that's what we did. We transported girls over there and they hipped it.
How did the girls react when they figured out what was happening?
I didn't notice anything particular about it. They were quite calm, I thought.
Didn't cause any trouble.
Yeah, it wasn't anything really new.
Yeah.
Because as I had heard it from other officers on there, that they had a habit is they would call the madams, and you send girls over. We book them for prostitution, and they forfeit $500 fine. That was how the city got money
Right. Yeah.
from it. That's what I understood.
That's what I've read.
I didn't have anything to do with it, but that's what I understood.
Yeah. I know that they had different names for the gals that worked at the brothels. I don't think they ever really called them hookers, but they would call them prisoners of sporting houses. Things like that.
That could be.
Yeah. It more, I guess, polite ways of saying that line of work.
If you dug into their lives, every one of them, I think you'd find out some bad stories.
Oh, I'm certain.
Whatever, just got into that and didn't need to be into it.
Yeah.
The ones that I talked to that I had anything to do with were polite. And while I worked for the deputy sheriff, the same thing. Those girls were very nice about, they weren't mean or sassy or nothing. They just went along with whatever was going.
Yeah. That makes sense. Now, earlier you mentioned that when you showed up at, I believe, the Curtis, that there was a minister and your partner that you were with was upset.
Yeah.
Because now, was he a John or was he someone that was wrong place, wrong time?
Oh, this minister?
Uh-huh.
No, as I understood it, he was connected with Jansen and was backing up Jansen some way on this raid thing.
Oh,
Which I didn't have much to do with that, you know what? That was all before my time.
Yeah. And how many, so the night that this was happening, was it just you were going from one business to the next and you just kind of progressed along Hume Street, or were there only certain businesses that were targeted for activity?
The only thing that they hit that night was the Curtis. When the sheriff did it, it was the Northern. That was the one I was detailed to, and come on, what's that name? The Harbor Room. Oh, the Harbor Rooms. That was it. The Harbor Rooms reputation was one of the nicest houses north of San Francisco.
Oh, and was that also in that same area around Hume?
It was in the old Hayes Bank building.
The Hayes Bank building.
Yeah, it's gone. There's a Jack in the Box there now.
Oh, okay. I know exactly where. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And obviously, as part of the raids, you were inside these buildings and it's talking about being the nicest. Did it actually look different inside, the way it was maybe decor or how it was set up, or was it?
Well, the fanciest bar, they said. I never saw the bar. I never went in there. That wasn't one of my targets. My target was the Northern Rooms.
Oh, okay. Great. All right. Let me see. And let's see. The next question is: did you work with Captain John B. Gillespie?
Yes, I did.
And what was your opinion of him?
Well, how do I put this? I thought he was loyal to Chief Gallagher. I thought he was a pretty tough guy. always got along with me. My history went back with John Gillespie, and then this is just a sidelight.
Mhm.
I was a kid, 17 years old. I came out of that theater in Aberdeen and going to head. I lived out in Woodlawn, and I was going to catch the bus and go to Hokum, and then catch the North Hokum bus and go so I could get across that railroad bridge and get home. Well, anyway, when I came out of the theater, the bus had pulled over, and he saw me, and I waved at him, and I'm running and said, catch him. So he had to sit there and wait for me till I got aboard. Then we went on to Hokum. So when I got out of the bus, the North Aberdeen bus, or the North Hokum bus was sitting there, and so I come out running to get to that bus. So Gillespie grabbed me, and we tussled a little bit. I didn't know who he was. And anyway, there was a Hokum policeman standing there. I said, hey, get this guy off of me.
Was he in uniform? Or?
Gillespie wasn't. He was in a suit.
So he had no idea what he was doing.
I didn't know who he was. I didn't know why he was driving me. But it turns out some kids had dumped the car at Myrtle Street, the dividing line between Aberdeen and Hokum. It was a stolen car. And they thought maybe he got on the bus and rode the bus.
Okay.
And that's why they were there to check it, see.
Got it.
But when I think it was Popovac that took me back to the bus was in Aberdeen again now. Took me back, and the guy says, oh no, I remember him. He had to run to get to my bus and where it was, you know. He said, no, he didn't get on Myrtle Street.
Yeah.
And so that cleared me, you know.
Sure. Yeah.
Well, here I am. The bridge is swung. The railroad bridge is swung. I can't get home unless I walk all the way around that East Hokum Road.
Yeah.
And so anyway, what am I going to do? So I think Popovac was one of them. There was another Aberdeen policeman. Drove me clear out to my house in Woodlawn.
Oh, wow.
Well, they needed to. They really should have, you know.
It was the right thing to do.
Yeah, it's the right thing to do.
You mentioned that you had just come out of a movie theater. Do you recall which theater it was and maybe what you saw?
Well, it was the one on, let's see, coming on Wishkah. It was on Wishkah. And it was right between
Was it the one?
Broadway and the next street. It was right in there on the south side of the street.
South side, not the Aberdeen Theater, was it? It was originally, it operated as, I think it opened as the Roxy, well, it only operated as the Roxy, I think, in 29 and 30, and then it became the Warner's, and then Warner Brothers. And I think
Warner Brothers, I think, is the right name.
Warner Brothers. Yeah, so that would have been near the Goldberg Furniture Building, kind of next door to that building.
Yeah.
And so that...
And a shoe store on the other side.
Yeah, there was a shoe store there. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And so this would have been, you said you were 17, so late 30s, maybe, about that time period?
Well, I was 17. I went in the service in 43. So it must have been 42.
Oh, 42, okay.
Yeah.
And you don't, I'm sure you don't, but do you recall what movie you had just seen?
No idea at all.
Surprise.
Yeah. All right, let's go to the next question. Did you work with James Foley? And if so, what was your opinion of him?
Well, Jim Foley was a giant of a man. And if you got to work with Jim Foley, you didn't worry about coming across any tough guys. Jim would pick them up like they were a suitcase and pack them. But Jim was a very good man. I hunted with him and was very good friends. And Jim and I spent a lot of time talking about the good old days in Elma.
Okay.
You know, Jim had quite experience in Elma.
Did Did he move to the Elma PD? Did he transfer over to the Elma PD at one point?
He moved to the Aberdeen Police Department from the Elma.
So he started at Elma and then came to Aberdeen.
Yeah, he started in Elma and moved to Aberdeen.
Okay.
After that, he was a woods patrolman up there in Capitol Forest.
Ah, okay.
But then, of course, he retired. But if you know Jim, you knew a good man.
Yeah.
He was really a good man.
Great. Okay. Let's see. And the next question we have is, did you also work for the city of Elma and Grace Harbor County?
Yes.
Yeah. And what did you do then?
I was a town marshal.
Okay.
So I was there, it must have been 1955, somewhere there. And then I left them in 1959. That's the night I went to work for the Aberdeen Department.
Okay. And let's see. Okay, this next question is kind of moving way ahead. And he writes, I don't expect you to have personal knowledge of Kurt Cobain's arrest in the mid-'80s, but if you were chief then, do you have any knowledge of it?
I had knowledge of Kurt Cobain, but I didn't arrest him. They may have. By that time, we had a detective force, which we'd never had before.
Yeah.
And the detectives took care of those things. They did that enforcement part. When I took over the department as chief, the captains became captains. They had duties. They had department things that they were responsible for. And I used them the way they should have been used all along. You put a captain part on a person, he has to have responsibility for that department. But if it was, you got a little extra pay, but you didn't have any particular responsibility other than you could do patrol just like anybody else.
Did you happen to know Police Captain Mike Heyman?
Who?
Mike Heyman?
He was a patrolman on the department before I left.
Oh, okay, so...
I don't know that I hired him or not.
Okay.
But he was a good policeman, as I understood it.
Okay, yeah. And this wasn't one of his questions, but this is, because I've been doing research on Kurt Cobain. There is a story that at the time Police Captain Mike Heyman recalls of arresting Kurt because he says that he had stolen a tent out of his yard and that he had been camping out under the 6th Street Bridge. Now, I haven't been able to find any details. I haven't been able to find a booking photo or arrest records or anything, but there was a story that was in the book that was published by the Aberdeen newspaper, where they had the story was a part of that book. But that's the only place I've ever come across that story. And so, do you recall hearing anything about that? Or?
No, I didn't have any connection with Cobain.
Yeah, this would have been later.
Yeah. By then I was off the street.
Yeah.
I was, but I knew, when things were going on.
Yeah.
And but I don't recall anything particular about Cobain.
Got it.
The bridge, Dad.
Huh?
Tell about that bridge, what you know about that bridge.
Well, the North Aberdeen Bridge or the Young Street Bridge?
The Young Street Bridge.
Yeah.
Young Street Bridge?
Kurt Cobain Bridge.
That was a place where a guy drowned there, and they went down, the diver went down and recovering the body.
Mm.
He told me that under that bridge was all kinds of bicycles.
Mm.
They would ride the bike to there, dump it over into the river, and go on home.
Oh. That's something the kids in the neighborhood would do. They would find a bike and then dump the evidence.
Yeah, dump it in the river.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
But that was just, I happen to know the diver real well, and he was telling me about that.
Oh, interesting.
When he was a driver that's down there, he said, well, there's bicycles all over down there.
Oh, wow. Was there ever a cleanup or anything to fish that stuff out, or was it just left there to
I don't
nature
know.
to do
I
it?
don't know whatever happened.
Yeah.
This was pretty well after my time.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's go to his next question. As a former employee of the city of Aberdeen, what is your opinion whether the city should acknowledge Kurt Cobain's legacy on the music world?
You're asking me?
Well, that's the question you wrote down. Yeah.
If you're asking me, no,
No.
they
Okay.
shouldn't.
Okay. Let's see.
But they're going to.
Yeah.
Nothing to
I think that's the last question that we have on this list that Jim prepared. Do you have any questions that you thought of while we were talking?
Not really, but if Cliff has anything else he'd want to share,
Oh, yeah.
I guess he in the first interview, he just pretty much freewheeled.
Yeah.
So he didn't get asked a whole lot of questions. He just shared information.
Great.
So
Good. Yeah.
maybe there's something he
Yeah. Is there anything that maybe you recalled while we were talking that memory that popped up that you'd like to talk about? Or
well, there were things that I saw when I went on that department that they weren't real good, and there were things that were real good. One of the things that I recall that startled me, I came from the sheriff's office, and I came from the town of Elma. I was the lone policeman in Elma, and I worked mostly alone in the sheriff's office. And I just can't think of anything that's I would say. I thought some of our policemen shouldn't have been policemen. They weren't up to what my standards were. That's been an incident. I was working with a sergeant, and when I was a patrolman, and we had one of our officers that had an accident, had a heart attack, had an accident, died. He was chasing a car at that time. Well, the sergeant had a girlfriend, and the girlfriend was at the, I think it was the Eagles Club there in Aberdeen, and he just wanted to circle that to keep track of who she's going with or something. And I said, well, we better get out and do something else, stuff. But no, well, this car that he was chasing went through the alley, no lights on or none, shot right across the street in front of us. And he was driving, the sergeant was driving. And I said, well, what are we going to do? There was a guy. And we didn't know that our policeman had died. We didn't know this had happened. But the violation of shooting across that street, no lights on it, at about 40 miles an hour was enough reason to want to stop him.
oh, sure.
No, we had to go back and check out the Eagles.
Oh my gosh.
And I thought, well, this is really, really bad.
Yeah.
It was against my standards.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And
Oh my gosh.
there was a couple more incidents like that, but it was that was one of the ones that got me the most, because
Yeah.
we could have had that guy.
Yeah. Not the best judgment on the
Yeah.
part of the other officer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's so important that a violation like that, and you had to check on your girlfriend.
Right. Was the Eagles Hall, was that someplace you just frequented, or was it
I
someplace
don't
that you-
know. I don't remember ever being in it.
Yeah.
But I don't remember having a lot of calls there or nothing. It was just there, and they, I think they mostly were probably good people in it. But I
Sure.
don't see anything wrong with the hall.
I heard they had roller skating there at one
Yeah.
time downstairs.
Yeah.
You recall anything about that?
Yeah. What?
roller skating downstairs in the old Eagles Hall.
I didn't know they did that.
Yeah, I heard that they did at one point
Really?
in time. Yeah, I don't think it was built as a skating rink, but I think it was open enough that at times they would let the kids come down there and skate around. Yeah, but yeah, not like a Harborina or anything
No.
like that.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Have you looked at that scrapbook?
I haven't yet, but Randy, I think, has been taking pictures, and so hopefully he's got everything documented, so that he'll be able to share that with us.
See, most of that is,
I don't know if
most of what I told you has been covered in
questions would come up if you look.
that. Now, what about this picture here? Could this be mine?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, I'd love to have it. Them old guys.
Was there anything that, as you were going through it, that stuck
I
out
didn't
to you?
really
you had
read them. I
questions
just snapped pictures, but I didn't know if you thumbed through and saw any headlines. I saw lots of pictures of Clifton there, so.
Yeah.
But
Did you see a picture of Joe Hasbrook in there?
yeah, why was that in there?
Well, Joe Hasbrook and I were partners in the sheriff's office.
Oh, wow.
We were probably the two best deputies that Simmons ever had.
Wow.
And he lost both of us due to wages. The sheriff, when he promoted me to captain, he moved me up to, I think, $130. What was it? Just $100? No, it was more than that. Anyway, he moved me up to about $10 below his monthly wage, and he couldn't go any higher. And Joe Hesper, he lost him the same way. And when Joe went to Elma,
Public Works, right?
yeah, Public Works in Elma, and when this town marshal job opened up, it paid $90 a month more than the sheriff could pay me. And so I said, yeah, I'll take that job. So I did. I moved up there and took that job. But it's just one of those things that, what was it? Gus Nelson was a commissioner there at one time, years and years ago. And Gus Nelson got in some kind of a problem with the sheriff. I don't remember what it was, but anyway, the sheriff got him for accepting kickbacks on loads of gravel. He figured some way to, and the sheriff got him. And it was way before my time. I was nowhere around when that was going on. But that's when the sheriff took over that job, and when Kenny Butler was the guy from Ellensburg that the sheriff brought in to be his chief deputy.
There was an article in there about a chief that came from somewhere else, but he resigned after a period of time.
Yeah, well, that's probably the guy from Seaside.
I was just curious what
There's that. There he is.
Seaside. But I think there was another one in here I read.
Well, and then Kennedy was there.
Chief Kennedy resigns. Yeah, and I mean I saw here where he was appointed, and then so why did he resign? He moved on, or
No, he's the one that they found out he'd been arrested here in Olympia while he was on the force.
Yeah, we got some of the
And didn't
details about
include that in his resume.
it. It was
And that's
an omission.
But there was other things that went wrong there. It was somewhere he clashed with him. I didn't know what it was. My wife went to the clothing store there. Vader's wife had a little clothing store there. And she went in and she bought a garment. And so she says, check's okay. And the lady says, yeah, chief of police wife's check should be okay, but that's not always so. So there was something there.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was.
In the past.
Interesting. Aberdeen has had, and I'm, like I say, I don't have a whole lot of history there yet. I'm new to the area, but I love history. And Aberdeen has a history of being a pretty rough and tumble town over the ages.
Well,
And, while you were,
I'll tell you a little bit about that.
yeah,
Probably, well, I'll say 50% of Fort Lewis payroll came to Aberdeen. And it was for booze and girls.
mm-hmm.
And then these guys would have to be back to Fort Lewis and report on time. So Sunday they would be heading back. And quite often they didn't make it. They ran off the road.
Oh, no.
And wiped out 3 or 4 of them.
Mm.
And my wife lived in a farm right there on Monsieur's Corner, up by just before you got to Alma.
Mm-hmm.
That's where a lot of them crashed.
Yeah,
And then there was a railroad thing in Brady
Oh,
where they
that's
crashed.
Wow.
But that was. I wasn't there when they were so thick down there. I was working for the sheriff or the town of Elma
Mm-hmm.
at that time. So when I got on the force down there, there wasn't so much of that. It was, I think somehow, well, I know that it was restricted to go. You couldn't go to Aberdeen,
Right, yeah.
but they did anyway.
It was forbidden, but somehow they found a way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So while you were working on the force, what was crime like at that time? What were the biggest issues that you recall, or the biggest problems for the town?
Okay. Of course, we had the usual burglaries
Mhm.
and the usual crimes like that. Captain Gillespie had a unique about him. He could go downtown in those bars down there, and when he'd come back, he'd know who did the crime.
Mhm.
Because he could find it out. He had informants
Ah,
that would tell him. And so they were able to solve a lot of those crimes just through that system. But,
okay.
but when let's see, it was under Skews. Well, I think maybe under Kennedy that we started the detective force.
Mhm.
And to this day, Aberdeen has a fine detective force.
Mm.
And they solve a lot more crimes now than they used to because the detectives work on it.
Mhm.
And before it was, well, like I was called on a negligent thing where a guy crashed into a guy's truck and he fell out of the truck and the truck rolled over him. When I got there, the guy was still alive and he died in my arms. And anyway, it was it just nobody followed up on that. The guy did get convicted, but something like that should have been followed up on. I was a patrolman, the only guy out, and so as soon as I'm done with that one, I've got another one, and it should have had somebody the next day follow up on that stuff.
Sure. Yeah.
And so when they started doing that, they started solving a lot more crimes.
Mm.
I have one crime that I know that in my head, I know who done it. And it was a guy, I think it was a Greek or something they called him. But anyway, he was a lone guy, lived alone in his little house. And they found him with his head chopped open.
Oh my gosh.
And somebody had murdered him with a hatchet. Well, then was one occasion I was called to a place and I went to see that this guy had beat this guy with a meat tenderizer hammer. Had beat him on the head with it. And so then I started to think to my mind, well, there's a hatchet killing, and this is a guy with, the only thing was he didn't have a hatchet.
Mm-hmm.
And so anyway, then they found the guy in the boxcar that was his head split open. So they got the guy that done that. And it was the same guy that killed this old Greek guy. It had to have been.
Yeah.
Because
He wasn't convicted of that crime.
no, but he was in Montana prison. When they found him, they went and brought him back here, and he got convicted of the boxcar crime.
Do you recall what the year was approximately that happened?
I don't know.
None of the names or the
Yeah, I just know that the guy's name was Wilford Coles.
Colts.
That I thought was the guy that did it.
Okay. Yeah.
And he was a tough guy among the winos. And
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure in my own mind that he killed that other guy. But if he would have had a detective force then, they probably would have solved that.
Yeah. Was that fairly uncommon in Aberdeen for such violent crimes to take place? It doesn't seem like that's too common anymore.
Well, yeah, we had shootings and stuff like that in Aberdeen, and I wasn't aware of it because I was gone before the tree platters moved up here. The warehouser in Rainier hired a bunch of people from south of the border, brought them up here, and they planted trees. And they liked it up here, so they started staying up here. All of a sudden, the knife incidents in Aberdeen went way up.
Yeah.
So I wasn't on the department then, but I keep track of what I can.
When you talked about the part about the corruption and the wildness in Aberdeen, the 50s, 60s, and 70s, there was tons of logging, and there were Friday night lined up at the banks to get the money, and there was music and bars open 7 days a week, and they were just packed. You could go anywhere, and there'd be 7 bands playing in town. I mean, it was absolutely super hopping. You couldn't park downtown anywhere. If you tried to get a parking meter somewhere, it was just packed. You walked the blocks to get to town, and everything was in the middle of Aberdeen, and it was very busy.
Did it feel safe at that time to be downtown?
Yeah, I felt real safe.
Okay.
Do I now? No.
Yeah.
I have one story of interest. It tickled my funny bone. We had a Captain Al Wager on the department, and he was getting close to retirement time, and he wasn't anxious to make any big arrests or anything, you know. And anyway, he was over at the NBC Bank, and he was waiting in line to cash his payroll check. And then standing in front of him is a guy that we knew as being one of the winos on the street. And so the guy hands the clerk a note, and the clerk looked at the note, reached over his shoulder. Al is in full police uniform, reached over the guy's shoulder and handed it to Al. Al made the first arrest of a bank robber in action.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
We all laughed about that. We thought, oh, Al probably didn't want to do that at all.
Talk about timing. Being in the right place at the right time.
We all laughed about that. Al had to do it. He couldn't get away from it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And this is, I think, on the way we talked about this a little bit, but and not your time, I don't think. But did you ever hear any of the old timers or anybody talk about Laurel Law? And, in that instance?
I went through that case and checked it all out the best I could. When I was, I think I was a patrolman there when I took an interest in that case. And I looked at all the evidence and everything that they had collected and stuff. And it was, well, it was Laura Law and her husband Dick Law. And then there was Denny Dyer. He was one of the guys that, see, this was I'm going to say was Communist Party. And I'm not sure, but that's what I thought it was.
Yeah.
Anyway, all these guys, Brick Moore, they're all tied up into this.
I knew all of them.
And Ted Doctor was in on it.
So you think it was pretty much a hit?
It's a possibility of two things. She was going to talk, or it was just a circumstance that the guy saw her living there alone and took advantage of that thing and murdered her, you know.
Yeah.
But I've heard all kinds of stories about it, but it.
Was the evidence kept pretty safe at that time?
Yeah.
The evidence in the office?
There was a stairwell, and all the evidence was in there, stored away in there. And I doubt if that's still there. It was still there when I left.
The police station that's there now, is that always where the police station and the jail was located, or was it ever another place that you recall?
Well, they remodeled the police station considerably. I liked it like putting a brand new suit on a person, but not giving them a bath first. But
It was the same place.
we had plans to build a brand new police station. It was a good plan, and it would take care of that station for another 30 years. But they chose to remodel the old station, and they've done some things in it. I wouldn't even know the place if I walked in there today.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know anything about it.
Dad, could I show them your badges?
Oh, that'd be great.
Well, you can show them my clock.
Yeah, but the box with your badges, can I show them what those look like? I could put them out and they could take a picture of them.
Well, it's just a collection of badges I've collected over the years.
Is that a yes?
Places I've been. Go see if you can
I
find them.
love those badges.
So
Yeah, the guys made that.
you were saying that there were certain places that, I don't know if they were detectives at that point, but where they could go and there were people that they could get information from to solve crimes.
Yeah.
Were there particular places or businesses that had maybe a reputation of being where more of the criminal element would hang
Not
out?
that I know of.
Yeah.
But
Or places that maybe were known or had a reputation of getting more calls than others?
yeah, no, I think as far as Gillespie, his unique thing was that he knew all these guys, the owners of the business, you know, and he could go down there and talk to the bartender, and the bartender had confidence in him, not to disclose
You
what
know,
they're
you
doing.
never think about
And
it.
they would pass that information on to Gillespie.
I see.
Couch.
Yeah.
Okay.
You turn that light on over your head. And
Yeah.
It might also cast a shadow. We never know until.
Yeah, right.
Boy.
Have any light on there. You could have that one there.
Well, here, we can turn this light on and bring it over here.
Okay, I was gonna put him, he's gonna take a picture of him and then we can bring him over.
Oh, okay.
I
Well,
mean, you know, you
appreciate
always
this.
think of badges as each place he worked, he had a badge.
uh-huh.
But he changed his position in that
Oh, sure.
place.
Yeah.
So there's lots of cool badges.
I really appreciate this picture.
Oh, yeah. That's a great.
It is
I know what you made
It's
today.
so much fun to go through there and see all those guys and there's old Jensen right there. He was a cocky guy. His hat cocked to the side. Oh, that's Gallagher sitting there next to Gillespie, yeah.
Wow, what is that one?
So are there any other questions you can think of before we?
Did you ask about the depot, the railroad depot?
Yes, yeah, no real information about that.
That might have happened when Fran White was still a council person and before she became mayor,
Okay.
possibly.
Yeah.
The John Augustine. Yeah.
Okay.
And Dick Lang, I know this guy, but I don't know his name.
Like, but what's this one? Deputy Sheriff. We'll have to ask Dad that one. I just think that's the coolest prize of all.
You will see in there that in the very beginning, I was leaning towards law enforcement. Because you see the schoolboy patrol badge.
Oh, which? Oh. It's upside down. Oh, this one. That's way cool, Dad.
Yeah.
Do you want to bring Annie over here to?
Yeah, I'll go bring it there. He's just gonna take pictures because it's good background.
Okay.
School patrol, is that what that said?
This is right here. Yeah. Is that cool?
Yeah, that's old Pat
Yeah, I'll
Gallagher
look at the
sitting
ones
there.
up above there. I'm gonna take a picture of each one of them.
Okay.
So I can,
So here's the school patrol badge. But this one, Dad, this is just cool.
Is that Elma?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is the coolest badge. I've never really looked at them. I just saw them in a box. I thought, oh my God, they're so cool.
What's the story behind the school safety patrol?
Well, I
That was his
went
first.
to Lincoln School, and they had a crossing there. That they had a schoolboy patrolman. You had a little belt thing going across you like this, and a little shirt-like thing, and you had a flag. And boy, they better obey you because you're the schoolboy patrol. And that's what. And then they would have.
How old were you when you were doing this?
Grade
Oh,
school.
I couldn't have been.
5th or 6th grade.
No, probably
Younger?
more. No, it could be the 5th. Yeah, it would be.
Yeah, that's cool.
Now, when you were doing this, were you already thinking, I'd like to be involved in law enforcement?
No.
No.
No. What did you get for doing that?
Well, we got to go to a picnic. State Patrol would take us on a picnic.
Oh wow.
So we got to go to a picnic.
Oh nice.
For Dad, it was a rare treat to go on a picnic.
And what school was this again?
Lincoln and Homewood.
Lincoln.
Oh, Lincoln. Oh.
The old Lincoln School is gone.
Yeah.
There's this steps and stuff was still there.
So in order for him to go to school in the morning, they lived out at Woodlawn, he had to go across the railroad bridge, and then he'd hit the main street there, and he'd hear that bell ring.
Well, was it the Last Chance Tavern? Or?
No, I've forgotten the name of it.
Anyway, it's
On that corner.
Right.
Showboat.
Showboat, yeah. The Showboat Tavern.
Yeah.
Oh, when I get to Showboat Tavern,
Did you get
the
them?
tardy bell would ring.
Uh-huh.
I got 5 minutes to get that
gosh.
rest of that, get up there and report to my room.
Oh.
And the hard-
my legs off.
Oh,
The hard thing about getting to school on time is tell what you did before school.
Well, I had a bicycle paper route.
Oh, paper route. Oh,
I had to get up at 4 in the morning
yeah. Oh,
and
gosh.
had to go over to the DNR Theater. No, not the DNR.
7th Street.
Seventh Theater.
Uh-huh.
And pick up the Oregonian papers. And I had a big canvas thing mounted on the handlebars of my.
What the?
How many homes did you deliver to?
I couldn't tell you, but I started out from the theater, 7th Street Theater, and I went across the 8th Street Bridge. Then I went down the Riverside Road and went into the that end of there. And when I got done there, I came back and went out all the way out to Woodlawn on the East Hookham Road, delivering papers.
Wow.
But they had some dogs out there, were so big they'd run straddle of my bicycle.
Oh my gosh.
Back
That'll make you
wheel.
pedal fast.
So whose badge is this really?
Well, it's mine. That was given to me by the chief of the South Bend Police Department.
Well, that was cool. I heard knew that. Yeah.
You mentioned the 7th Street Theater. Was that considered the nicest of the theaters around the harbor?
It was a nice theater, I know that, but I don't know the rest of Atlanta. Probably know more about that than me.
It was a very nice theater. I went there as a kid. We went to the matinee on Saturday, and it was a nice theater. But I always thought that the DNR was, in my time, that was the place.
Oh,
to
the
go.
DNR.
That was,
Oh,
you know,
sure.
when they had Rock Around the Clock and Chubby Checker and music, and people would dance in the aisles.
Oh, now when you say Chubby Checker, are you talking about a live performance? Or
Actually,
something
he
that
played
was-
somewhere else, but they had his music there.
Oh, okay.
Chubby Checker.
So it
was
wasn't
actually
just
at the Colonial
It wasn't
West.
just people going there to watch a movie. There were other things.
And they were all dressed, you know, they were dressed in neat theater clothes.
Oh,
With the flashlights and the cool hats.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that was, I thought that, in my time, the DNR was probably the coolest, but
I have
only
a-
because I couldn't get
I
there.
have a
as
little
much as you
story
could
about the
7th
theater
Street.
thing.
Weren't those fabulous? Awesome.
That surprised me.
Someday I want
But
that.
anyway, the 7th Street Theater was putting on a
Yeah.
skit. These people came
My
to town
brother,
and
he
put
wants
on
all
a
this kind of
show.
stuff.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to
And,
do that, but
So they were going to have it was going to be a raid of a prostitution house and that stuff. So they needed policemen.
Mhm.
So they came over to Kennedy, and Kennedy sent me and Nell Sundstrom over there to be the policeman that's going to raid this house. And so we put our uniforms on, then we put our raincoat over our trench coat over the top of them.
Uh-huh.
And we'd go sit there with our wives at the theater, you know. And when our cue comes, then we slip off the coat and jump up and run out.
Did the wives know ahead of time? This
Oh
was
yeah, they knew what
they
was
were in
gonna
on
be,
it.
yeah. Anyway, as I ran in there, ran up on the stage, you know, this one slightly built little girl ran and jumped right in my arms.
Oh my gosh.
I laughed. I found out she was Dick Wang's wife, and he was the Hokie policeman.
Oh.
So we got in on the show, and then we got to do this bowing and all this stuff.
Oh, wow.
We all had to come back out because they kept clapping, and
Oh my gosh.
it was fun.
Do you recall what the name of the show was by chance?
Yeah, it was really fun.
Do you have any of the show bill or anything still?
No. We should have saved something from that.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't save anything.
Yeah. And you don't recall the name of the show? It was just some touring show that came through.
Yeah, let's see, Nels was on the department. Oh, it wasn't.
Or maybe about the time frame that it took place?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to figure some way to narrow it down so I can remember when Nels came on the department.
Yeah.
I well remember when he came on.
Would this have been in the 50s or 60s?
Well, it had to have been up in the, might have been 70s,
Oh, 70s. Okay. Yeah.
because I was the captain at that time.
Oh, okay.
You know.
Yeah. I bet we could probably work with the 7th Street Theater folks to kind of maybe narrow down what the show was.
you guys want a bottle of water or something?
I'm good. I have water out in the car.
I'll take a water, thank you.
Dad,
So-
you want some water?
Oh, I got
Still
some
got
milk.
some lit milk?
You can share water with these guys.
So, were there, going back to Aberdeen and, thank you, when you were serving were there certain things you could expect the teenagers at that time to get into, the trouble they would get into as far as was hot rodding or anything like that an issue, or was
Yeah. Hubcaps is one of the big things.
hubcaps?
Stealing hubcaps.
Oh, okay. Was it something they'd steal to resell, or was it just mischief?
Well, I'll tell you the case that I got involved with when I was a marshal in Elma.
Mhm.
It's, I found out that this kid had stole some hubcaps.
Mhm.
So contrary to what they do now, when I went and talked to him, he confessed to all the hubcaps he had stolen. So we got the parents together and we got all the hubcaps and took them around and give them back to the people that had taken them from.
Oh, wow.
And it was kind of a fun thing to do. That these people tried to get their hubcaps back, and these parents were very glad to take over.
Oh, yeah. So that was just getting into mischief more than anything else.
Yeah, it was stuff that they didn't do anything. There was a little bit of hot rodding.
Yeah.
I learned my lesson there. I was a night marshal.
Mm-hmm.
I went to work at 8 o'clock at night and got off at 4 in the morning. And the juvenile court was 9 o'clock in Hopium, Washington.
Mm-hmm.
So if I arrested a juvenile, I would have to get up, I'd have to go home at 4 in the morning and get up early enough to drive to Hopium and attend this hearing.
Oh,
And nothing happened.
yeah.
So I said, this is a losing proposition. I'm the one that's getting punished.
Mm-hmm.
So I got the thing set up, and I'd call the parents, and I'd say, have your boy or girl down at the police station at 8 o'clock tonight when I go on duty, and we're going to discuss this with you and the kids.
Mm.
And gosh, that worked.
Yeah, probably a lot more effective.
One kid that'd been doing a lot of this squirreling around with his car during the noon hour when I wasn't out there. And anyway, on him, I went by his house after his dad had come down with a boy and talked to me. I went by his house. His car was sitting on blocks, all 4 wheels gone.
That's one way to stop them.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's funny.
So that was my law and order up there. I got a nice letter from the city of Elma how I handled the juveniles.
Nice.
I certainly learned the first night, and I arrested that kid for squirreling around in the schoolyard,
Oh, my gosh.
and I had to be down there and help him at 9 o'clock in the morning.
Mm.
After I was got off at 4 in the
Oh,
morning.
my gosh. Yeah.
No crazy hours.
Was that
I
your?
think there was more squirreling around and stuff when I was a kid too, because I worked at Jack's Drive-In as a car hop and in the restaurant.
Where was
And-
that?
It was where the Dairy Queen is over by Walmart, right there.
Oh, okay.
And it was one of the cool places to go. There was the short stop and
Uh-huh.
Jack's Drive-In, Art Circle, and they would cruise all through town, all over. But they raced between the bridges going out towards Westport. So then I'd be at work, and then they'd go out and race. They'd come and meet up, and then off they'd go, and I'd see them go, and then they'd all come back and tell who beat who.
Oh,
And,
my gosh.
they'd have somebody set up at each end and be racing back.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, it's crazy.
Wow.
Or come towing them in with a blown up engine or, whatever.
What was the time frame when this was taking
Well, I
place?
started at Jack's Drive-In, I think at 65.
Oh.
65. And I worked there for about 3 years. So.
Yeah. I bet that part of Aberdeen looked a lot different than it does today.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there was in '65, there probably wasn't even a Wishka Mall there, right? Or was there?
There was a big propane company that had a big explosion right in there.
Mm.
And I was at the restaurant when it hit, and boy, it was so hot and such a big fire that everything in the Jack's Drive-In, everything melted off of
gosh.
the walls and
I
stuff.
think I've seen photographs of
Yeah.
that fire.
How close
Yeah.
was that?
Hmm?
How close was it for it to?
It felt real close. We were closed, obviously, and
Yeah.
they had the whole area blocked off, and they got us out of there. But
Gosh.
yeah, we went back next day or so and had to clean up the biggest mess ever.
Wow.
God.
Wow. I'll have to look for some pictures of that. Jack's driving. I don't think
Yeah,
I've come across that yet.
well, Jack Vanderbeek owned Jack's Drive-In, and he owned the Shortstop too, and those were two really cool. And then when the Arctic Circle was a little bit later, when they came in, they were part of that, and that's where kids cruised, because we had two-way, on the road, so you were crossing, seeing each other, going back and
I
forth,
see. Yeah.
driving or start out at going to the Vasa Hall, and then after the Vasa Hall dance was over, then people were out cruising on the main roads. It was like American Graffiti. I
Yeah.
mean, it really was. And we had some of the top-notch bands.
Uh-huh.
Oh my God, we had good bands. You name it, we had them.
Was Vasa Hall
I'm sure you
known?
guys know that, huh?
Was Vasa Hall known for being a place to
Oh,
listen to great
definitely,
music?
definitely one. Aberdeen Armory was another one. They had Battle of the Bands. They'd have two bands going.
Wow.
They had Parker and the Raiders, and they had Sonics, and the Beach Boys, and
When the Beach Boys played, was it Vasa Hall or was it 7th Street?
where I saw the Beach Boys was at our school. They came to Homewood High School.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's where I saw
I
them.
know I've heard an interview done by, he was in the Beachcombers, the keyboardist.
My God, he just passed away.
He was involved
Stan
with
Foreman.
Stan Foreman,
Wow,
so
that
he's
name
kind
was-
of a legend around here.
Yeah, he was.
He was a disc jockey and went off. He's the one who went to Capitol Records, and Daryl Westmoreland
Yeah,
pretty much
yeah.
did his work through Stan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my husband first is a musician too, and he first came to Grays Harbor playing with the Ink Spots, and who first had him was the Colonial West, and that's how he first came.
I think I've seen Jim's pictures. He was the only white guy in the band, wasn't he?
Yes. White token boy.
Yeah. Yeah. So I had a question for you, Cliff. So when you went to Elma to be the chief, was the guy before you Cowboy Combs, or had he been there?
Pardon?
Cowboy Combs.
Yeah.
Was he right before you as chief?
Yes, he was the chief ahead of me.
And I know at one time he had a bicycle patrol. He didn't even have a cop car, and I don't know how early that was. But there was a cousin of mine. His name was Jerry Thayer. And Jerry was an athlete.
Thayer, do I know him?
Yeah, and he had a fast car. And,
I
and
know where Neva is now too.
Wow. Yeah. So Jerry said that one time he went through town very fast, and I don't know if Cowboy was on a bicycle or if he was in a car, but Jerry just lost him in the dust. And then, but he knew who he was, so he went out to the house to arrest him or to whatever he did, ticket him. But, so he's kind of a relative too of Jerry, and Cowboy would have been related.
Oh yeah.
But I don't know if you have any stories you want to share with Jerry Thayer.
Jerry Thayer married Neva Thompson,
Oh.
who was Helen's good friend in school. And they've always, her and Celeste Hall, the three of them were close friends. And being married to Helen, I surely knew Jerry and Neva and all of them, Neva is fallen into this kind of a bad situation. One of her boys lives over in Georgia or someplace like that. And Neva decided that she would, after her last husband died, and she decided she'd move over there where her son lived. And so she went over there, and the son had a piece of property in the house on it, but there was room enough, so she put in a mobile home and that property in there. And then she lived there. Well, the son and the wife had a big spit, and they broke up, and now Neva's living there on the property. If somebody doesn't like her, she can't get rid of that house. It's on somebody else's property. What a situation to get into.
Jerry was a relative, and he'd always ask about my Aunt Mary Boyer. They had a band years ago called the Porter Ramblers.
Oh yes,
I don't know if you.
I know all about the Porter Ramblers.
Yeah, they were like legendary.
Yeah.
So
Oh, cool.
back when there wasn't, even radio or television or, everybody went to these dances. And
Well, the class reunions. I always went to all the class reunions, and they'd say, "Well, who are you?" I say, "I'm the guy that taught these kids how to drive."
yeah.
Good one. Very good.
I didn't say I should have started with this. I didn't know when we started recording, but just for the record, today is April 2nd, 2024. I'm Chuck Muscomon, and we've been interviewing Cliff Todd.
Yeah.
And we really appreciate you taking the time to answer questions and give us some more of your history. It's been a great interview.
Yeah.
So thank you.
It's cut off all your recorders. I can give you some more.
Off the record.
I know I was thinking to speak.
Now we get the juicy stuff.
It's fun.
It was a lot of them.
The best thing is Dad's memory is so sharp.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I'll
A
say
better
one-
memory than I have.
I'll say one thing about Elma. I'd get a call, and my red light came on that I had to answer the phone. I see that red light on, I'd answer the phone.
On the
And
pole.
so this woman is, she's been abused, and she's, somebody's broke into her house and all this stuff. And so I drive over there, and so she comes to the door. She's got on light clothes, and the coffee pot is going bloop, bloop, bloop. Well, come on in, have a cup of coffee. No, I got a couple calls backed up. I can't stay. I have to go. Well, so what is going on? It turns out it was nothing.
Oh my gosh.
Just
Sounds like something on a Mayberry.
get me there for a cup of coffee or whatever else.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's funny.
It happened quite often.
I think the part about the light, was it on a telephone pole or what kind of pole was that?
Telephone pole.
Yeah, that's how he'd see if they were calling him. He'd have to go to the box on there and call in.
Where was the pole at?
Telephone pole?
Yeah. Was it close to the station?
Did you know where Martin Hardware was?
This is Elma?
Yeah,
I don't know Elma that well yet.
yeah. It's right there.
Menard's Hardware, yeah.
It's right across the street from the bank.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Right.
I,
Anyway, I talk about using the public. Is we was having a lot of safe burglaries, and so I went down and to a little Chamber of Commerce meeting or whatever they called it, and we discussed this. So I said, we're a small town. And I said, when you have somebody that comes back looking over your hard metal cutting tools, wanting to buy some, just somebody slip out on the street and get license numbers of cars that don't belong out there. And mainly, especially an Oregon car.
Oh, yeah.
So anyway, the license they turned into me was an Oregon car. So I called Portland PD. Yeah, that's John Twee's car. He's a known safe burglar. They were back in Menard Hardware, eyeballing all this hard metal cutting tools. And so they told me that, and they told me all the rest about what his car looked like and everything. They had him pinned, So I called Aberdeen PD and Hokum PD and the sheriff's office, gave them this information. Well, John Babbage is riding a three-wheel motorcycle issuing parking tickets on the meters, and he spots this car. So he pulls him over and he gets out and he makes him open the trunk. Well, in the trunk he found sawed-off shotguns.
Oh my gosh.
and some other stuff. And anyhow, his search wasn't any good because he didn't get a warrant and he had no reason to do it.
Yeah.
But because there were federal arms, the federal stepped in that now they could do it. So they charged these guys with possession of these weapons. Well, they never came back to Elma, but yeah, I think we averted a safe burglary there somewhere.
Yeah. They didn't have an existing warrant out for their arrest when he pulled them over at that point. Then.
Yeah. They carried these shotguns in a strap under their coat.
Oh.
And any little patrolman checking the buildings, we used to call us door rattlers.
Mm-hmm.
We used to go check the doors, see if they're locked.
Sure.
And they had a shotgun right up under their shoulder. If you'd have caught them in there, I know that Joe Hasbrook rattled the doors on the guys that was in that new grocery store went in down there. And he went through and rattled the doors, and then we found out they had taken the sink out of the safe out of the cooler, brought it out and broke it up. And they just took the core then, because they had to break up the cement that was surrounding it. And they just took the core away. Well, there again, I don't know where I got on to them, but I called Portland PD, and so they told me who they thought might have done it. And then I got notice back that they got him on another safe burglary, but they found the slag from burning my safe apart and in the trunk of their car.
Oh my gosh.
So they had done both jobs. But it was it's one of those deals where you know, one lone marshal, you know, there's not much you can do. You can only be so many places. But then we had another one. We had a rape occur about 4 houses from mine. The cousin went to work, and as soon as he left, this guy broke into the house. The lady was pregnant, and he broke in the house and he raped her. And she got the phone, called us, and she also called the mill and got her husband to come home. But I got down there and talked to her, you know, and she told me a little bit about the guy, what she could identify him and so on. And so I left immediately then. The husband got there, and I left immediately then. And I started patrolling the streets in Helma. I see this guy walking along. And so I stopped. I didn't know him. So I said, well, what are you doing out here this hour of the morning, you know? And, oh, he was just doing this and doing that and all this stuff. And so I got his name. And so I went back, and he said he was from Mason County. So I called the Mason County Sheriff. Bingo! He had raped 2 other women before and done time in jail and was out on parole right now.
Oh, wow.
So picked him up, got him identified, and sent him back to Walls.
Wow.
But that was
some good work.
just because, you know, that's the only thing I knew to do was to look around, see what's here.
Yeah. Good instincts.
Yeah.
Dad likes the detective thing.
Yeah, it sounds
Yeah.
like it. Yeah. Did you ever have to, I'm sure you probably did, but draw your weapon during service? Or?
I pulled it out once in a while when I thought there was maybe somebody in the building or something, and I never shot at anybody, or never even come close to shooting at anybody.
That's good.
I did have a guy that had the gun in his hand. He was in his bedroom, and when I walked in and I saw he had the gun, well, mine is holstered, so I'm not going to be able to quick draw and get him.
Sure.
So anyway, I talked to him, and I held my hand out to him. I said, look, you're headed for a lot of trouble. Why don't you just put that gun right here in this hand, and we'll see if we can talk you through this and find out just what's going on here. He lays a gun in my hand.
Wow.
I thought that was nice.
That's a very good end to a story that could have gone south. Yeah.
I knew I couldn't beat him, because he had this thing in his hand. And everything got settled. They got their problems settled, and he left. He didn't live there no more, but that was part of the deal, that you get out of there and stay. And it was her gun, so she got to keep the gun.
Well, that's probably the best possible end of that. Yeah.
I had quite a few of those. One time we went to a house where the guy was in the back. He had a knife about this long, and he had the family backed up, and he was in the dining room, more or less. It's a kitchen, more or less. And so me and my partner walks in there, you know. We looks at this guy, and he's got this big long knife. Well, we got time. We can shoot him. But my partner reached down and he picked up one of these kitchen chairs, got all the wooden legs sticking down on them. So he grabbed one of those, and I saw that, and I grabbed another one. We went right at him with these chairs, jabbing him in the face with them. He started throwing welts all over his face with them. Pretty soon, he stopped. He said, "I quit." And he threw the knife on the floor.
Oh my gosh. That was a domestic call?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we didn't have to shoot him.
Yeah. Good. That's one way to diffuse it.
Yeah, but it was sure funny. Yeah, I quit.
Wow.
I guess so. Your armor was tough.
Oh,
Wow.
but there was several of those little incidents. I talked a guy out of doing something bad.
So the Aberdeen Museum, I haven't been to your location now. I used to go to the museum, but tell me about that. Tell me what is there
We
actually?
lost the old museum that was in the armory.
Very
It burned in 2018.
Yeah,
But, you know,
I
they
was there
purchased
a lot.
the old Sears building.
Right.
And that's going to be the new museum.
and that's where it's going to be.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's the
One
plan.
day. Yeah. Right now we just have the.
gotta work hard at getting the homeless around that corner.
Yeah.
Of course, your new mayor probably.
They're working on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Right
I
now.
wondered if that was what they were gonna do.
Yeah.
I know Dad's about all the time, but sometime he'll have to tell you what he knows about the bag lady, and I'm sure you guys have lots of information about the bag lady.
The bag lady.
I'm not
The
familiar.
bag lady.
Who's the bag
What's her
lady?
name, Dad?
Oh, Francis.
Yeah.
Francis
She was very
O'Brien.
famous in town. She went all over town with her,
Well,
that was
Francis,
before there were shopping carts all over the place.
Oh, okay.
Francis was you might see her one day with a hip boot on one leg and a short boot on the other leg, or something. You know, she was I wouldn't say she was mentally sick, because the health people said no, she's not. But anyway,
In the garbage
she
is all
she
over.
pushed this cart around, and she'd go through the alley. If you, the merchant, left your key in the door, she'd take the key. And then we'd have to go find her and get the keys back. And, the first time I run across her was, they had a mental warrant for her out of the county, but she lived in an apartment right by the police station in Aberdeen. So I went there with Harold Matheson, another deputy, and Frank O'Brien he was a former Aberdeen policeman, and then he was the parole officer. And so we went to the house, and he told us he thought maybe she had his gun. So we were concerned about that. So we whacked on the door, stand aside and whack on the door. And you could hear her yelling, "Get out of here, get away," and all this, that. We even swear we heard the gun being cocked.
Oh my gosh.
And so anyway, I went around the back hall, and there's a back door. Well, there was some steam pipes up overhead here. So I looked up at them, I looked at that door, I reached up and grabbed and brought myself up, both feet, hit the door flew halfway across the room.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway,
In Elma.
Oh, yeah, so not.
John Hughes wrote up an obituary
I have it.
for Frances when she died. And it was a real nice, long
Yeah.
obituary.
Oh.
And he just felt that nobody cared about her, but her parents were dead, and she was on her own. And one day I'm walking down the street with my wife. We're going by Safeways, and I look over there, and Frances is beating on one of those magazine racks, trying to get the newspaper out of it. And so I just walk over by her and I say, "Frances, what's the problem here?" "Oh, nobody would give me bang." So I shut the machine, the coin went down, she got her newspaper. So I walked back. My wife says, "Who was that?"
You just had to see her. I mean, we have a lot now of that type of look in town,
Yeah.
but she was just our character. She was the town
Yeah.
character
Oh
for
my
sure.
gosh.
Oh, Frances was,
But how about her parents, Dad? Didn't they have money?
oh yeah, they had that apartment building that she was in before, and they had some other buildings and stuff, and like I say, he was a parole officer, so he had a wage coming, and
And no one came to her funeral, did they?
I don't know.
Yeah, I have that article somewhere.
You have it?
Yeah, I
You could
do.
probably find it.
It was a long article.
If it was a Daily World
Yeah,
article, we
it
should be
was.
able to find it through Library of Congress. Has
Yeah.
a lot of that online.
She died after I retired, so.
Do you recall the last name?
Huh?
Do you recall the last name?
Do you know Francis's last name?
Huh?
Did you know Francis's last name?
O'Brien.
O'Brien. Yeah,
Okay.
because she was related to the O'Brien that
Oh,
took
okay.
the gun.
Yeah, we should be able to find it then.
But anyway, interesting.
Yeah.